What does it truly mean to be wealthy? Is it the size of your bank account, the luxury of your possessions, or the prestige of your social status? These questions have puzzled humanity for millennia. However, the philosophical tradition of Stoicism, founded in Athens around 300 BCE, offers profound and practical insights into wealth that resonate powerfully in our modern era of consumerism and social comparison. The Stoics didn't equate wealth with material abundance or external markers of success. Instead, they saw true wealth as an internal state, characterized by self-sufficiency, moderated desires, and inner freedom. This Stoic perspective offers a refreshing alternative in a world constantly bombarded with messages that equate happiness with acquisition. It challenges us to look beyond the superficial trappings of wealth and consider what truly enriches our lives. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants, said Epictetus, a formerly enslaved person who became one of Stoicism's most influential teachers. This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the Stoic approach to wealth, suggesting that true richness comes not from accumulating more but from needing less. Seneca, another towering figure in Stoic philosophy, echoed this sentiment when he wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." These words highlight our modern dilemma, the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction that keeps us chasing after the next big thing, never quite satisfied with what we have. The Stoics didn't just criticize the pursuit of wealth, they offered a constructive alternative. They advocated for a life of virtue, self-discipline, and inner cultivation. "He is the most powerful person who has power over himself," Seneca advised, pointing to self-mastery as the ultimate form of wealth. This perspective invites us to redefine what it means to live a prosperous life, encouraging us to look inward for fulfillment rather than constantly seeking it in external circumstances. The Stoics teach us that true wealth lies in our ability to find contentment in the present moment, cultivate wisdom and courage, and live in harmony with our deepest values. In this video, we will explore the Stoic approach to wealth. We will examine how to define personal wealth in a way that aligns with our authentic selves, not societal expectations. We will discuss the liberating practice of knowing what is enough and how it can free us from the tyranny of endless wants. We will also delve into the counterintuitive Stoic practice of voluntary poverty, a powerful tool for cultivating gratitude and resilience. Lastly, we will explore how to build genuine, lasting wealth by developing our inner resources and living a life of purpose and integrity. The wisdom of the Stoics offers us a pathway to a more prosperous and meaningful existence. It shows us that the wealthiest life is not filled with the most possessions, but the one most aligned with our values, most at peace with itself, and most open to the richness of human experience. Chapter 1. The Stoic View on Wealth. The Stoics, through their keen observations and life experiences, developed a profound understanding of the paradoxical nature of material wealth. Their insights challenge our conventional notions of what it means to be rich, offering a perspective that is both enlightening and liberating. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Money doesn't make you rich. These individuals have riches, just as we say we have a fever when the fever really has us." This metaphor reveals Seneca's view that wealth often possesses people rather than the other way around. Seneca observed that many wealthy individuals in Rome were paradoxically among the poorest in spirit. Their wealth had made them obsessive, controlled their schedules, and surrounded them with insincere flatterers. Instead of providing freedom, their wealth had become a burden, enslaving them to constant worry and fear of loss. This idea is echoed in another of Seneca's quotes. "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Here, Seneca points to the greedy nature of desire. No matter how much wealth one accumulates, one remains spiritually impoverished if the craving for more persists. Epictetus, another towering figure in Stoic philosophy, shared this perspective. As a formerly enslaved person who gained his freedom and became a respected teacher, Epictetus had unique insights into the true nature of wealth and liberty. He once shared a story about a man who had been offered a lucrative job by Emperor Augustus. The man came to Epictetus boasting about the money and fame he would gain. Epictetus, however, was unimpressed. He responded with probing questions that cut to the heart of what truly matters in life. Epictetus told his students, "I told him not to touch it when the man protested that he would make a lot of money." Epictetus replied, "Yes, for little in return." The man argued that many people would learn his name, to which Epictetus asked, "Are you planning to be there every time someone utters your name?" When the man said his name would outlive him, Epictetus said, "So will a rock you carve your name into." Finally, when the man boasted about wearing a gold crown, Epictetus delivered the coup de grace. "And they will put a crown made of roses on you for your funeral. You will look even more elegant in that." Through this dialogue, Epictetus demonstrates the fleeting and unsatisfying nature of external markers of wealth and success. He encourages us to look beyond surface-level gains and consider the true cost of pursuing wealth, the sacrifices, compromises, and spiritual poverty that often accompany it. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, also weighed in on this topic. He famously said, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This observation highlights how our perception of wealth is often shaped more by societal expectations and the judgments of others than by our values and sense of fulfillment. The Stoics recognized that true wealth comes from within, from a state of inner freedom, contentment, and self-mastery. As Epictetus put it, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This radical redefinition of wealth shifts our focus from external accumulation to internal cultivation. By moderating our desires, cultivating contentment with what we have, and developing our inner resources, the Stoics argue that we can achieve a wealth far more durable and satisfying than material riches. These ancient insights challenge us to reevaluate our modern notions of wealth and success. They invite us to consider, are we genuinely enriched by the size of our bank accounts or the number of possessions we accumulate? Or can we find a deeper, more enduring form of richness by mastering ourselves, moderating our desires, and focusing on what truly matters in life? The Stoic view on wealth offers us a path to freedom. Freedom from the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, freedom from the tyranny of others' opinions, and freedom to live a life aligned with our deepest values. By embracing this perspective, we open ourselves to a form of wealth that no market crash can diminish and no thief can steal, the wealth of a life well lived. Chapter 2. Defining personal wealth. In exploring the Stoic perspective on wealth, we now turn to a crucial concept: defining personal wealth. The Stoics recognize that true richness is deeply subjective, beyond mere financial abundance. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This statement encapsulates the Stoic approach to personal wealth, suggesting that our richness is not determined by what we own, but by our relationship to our desires. Consider for a moment what a rich life means to you. Is it the freedom to travel the world, the ability to spend quality time with loved ones, the opportunity to pursue meaningful work, or the simple pleasure of a quiet life, free from financial stress? The answers to these questions will vary significantly from person to person. Some may find wealth in a life of adventure and new experiences, while others may see it in the depth of their relationships or the impact of their work. Still, others define wealth as the freedom to live unburdened by excessive possessions or obligations. Stoicism teaches that the richest person is not one who has the most, but needs the least. This perspective invites us to shift our focus from accumulation to contentment. Instead of constantly striving for more, we can cultivate satisfaction with what we already have. This doesn't mean we should abandon all ambition or desire for improvement. Instead, it encourages us to be mindful of our wants and to distinguish between what we truly need for a fulfilling life and what society tells us we should want. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-sufficiency in defining personal wealth. Another prominent Stoic philosopher advised, "Make yourself wealthy not by facilitating every whim, but by removing them." This suggests that true wealth comes from our ability to meet our needs and find contentment within ourselves, rather than relying on external sources for our happiness. Consider the difference between someone who needs constant entertainment, luxury, and validation to feel satisfied, and someone who can find joy in simple pleasures, meaningful work, and their own company. Who, in this scenario, is truly wealthier? The Stoic approach to personal wealth also emphasizes the value of intangible riches. Wisdom, virtue, meaningful relationships, and peace of mind are forms of wealth that can't be measured in monetary terms, but are invaluable to a well-lived life. As Epictetus reminds us, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This attitude of gratitude is a form of wealth, allowing us to appreciate and fully experience the richness of our lives in the present moment. Defining personal wealth in Stoic terms is about more than just money. It involves a holistic view of what makes life meaningful and fulfilling. By aligning our values, moderating our desires, and cultivating inner contentment, we can achieve a form of wealth that goes beyond financial prosperity to encompass a rich, rewarding, and deeply satisfying life. Chapter 3. The liberating practice of knowing enough. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoic philosophy is its teaching on the concept of enough. In a world where we are constantly encouraged to strive for more money, more possessions, more success, the Stoic principle of knowing what is enough offers a refreshing counterpoint. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This statement highlights the insatiable nature of human desire. No matter how much we have, if we always want more, we will never feel truly wealthy. In contrast, those who know what is enough can find contentment and peace, regardless of their material circumstances. The Stoics recognize that the pursuit of endless accumulation often leads to dissatisfaction and stress. By constantly chasing after more, we become trapped in a cycle of desire and disappointment. This cycle can prevent us from appreciating what we already have and from finding joy in the present moment. To break free from this cycle, the Stoics advocated for a practice of self-reflection and moderation. They encouraged us to regularly assess our desires and ask ourselves, do we genuinely need this? Will it contribute to our long-term happiness and well-being? By scrutinizing our wants, we can distinguish between genuine needs and fleeting desires influenced by external pressures and societal expectations. The Stoics also practiced voluntary simplicity as a way to cultivate a sense of enough. They deliberately chose to live with less, not as an act of deprivation, but as a means to appreciate the basics of life. This practice, known as voluntary poverty, was a way to train themselves to be content with little and to prepare for times when they might face actual scarcity. Seneca advised, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" By simulating poverty, the Stoics could confront their fears and realize that their happiness and well-being did not depend on luxury or abundance. This practice also helped them develop resilience and gratitude for what they had. Knowing what is enough doesn't mean we should stop aspiring for personal growth or improvement. Instead, it means recognizing the point at which further accumulation no longer contributes to our well-being and may even detract from it. It means understanding that true wealth comes from being content with enough rather than constantly striving for more. This practice of knowing enough can be profoundly liberating. It frees us from the endless cycle of desire and allows us to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, personal growth, and the simple pleasures of life. By embracing the concept of enough, we can find a sense of peace and satisfaction that no amount of material wealth can provide. Chapter 4. The counterintuitive wisdom of voluntary poverty. The Stoic practice of voluntary poverty is a striking and counterintuitive approach to wealth. At first glance, the idea of choosing to live with less may seem like a rejection of prosperity. However, this practice holds profound wisdom that can lead to greater freedom and contentment. Voluntary poverty is not about asceticism or self-denial for its own sake. Instead, it is a deliberate choice to live simply and cultivate an appreciation for the essentials of life. By choosing to experience living with less, the Stoics aim to free themselves from the fear of poverty and develop a deeper sense of gratitude for what they had. Seneca, a wealthy Roman senator and Stoic philosopher, famously practiced voluntary poverty despite his significant wealth. He believed that experiencing life with minimal comforts could strengthen resilience and mental fortitude. He advised his friend Lucilius, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This exercise helped Seneca and others confront their fears of poverty and realize that their well-being did not depend on luxury. This practice also aimed to cultivate self-sufficiency and inner strength. By learning to live with less, the Stoics could rely less on external circumstances for their happiness and more on their internal resources. This self-reliance is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, which teaches that true wealth comes from within and is not dependent on external factors. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and later became a renowned Stoic teacher, embodied this principle. Despite his humble beginnings, Epictetus believed that true freedom and wealth were found in the mastery of one's desires and emotions. He taught, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." By focusing on what is essential and cultivating inner contentment, Epictetus demonstrated that even those with limited material means could achieve a rich and fulfilling life. The practice of voluntary poverty also served as a reminder of the impermanence of material wealth. By periodically living with less, the Stoics could maintain a healthy detachment from their possessions and avoid becoming overly reliant on them for their happiness. This detachment helped them stay grounded and resilient in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. In modern times, the practice of voluntary poverty can take many forms. It might involve periods of minimal consumption, simplified living, or intentional frugality. The goal is not to reject material comforts entirely, but to cultivate a mindset of contentment and resilience. By embracing simplicity, we can better appreciate what we have and find joy in the present moment, rather than constantly seeking more. Voluntary poverty can also lead to greater financial freedom. By reducing our dependence on material goods and living within our means, we can achieve a sense of security and autonomy that excessive consumption cannot provide. This financial freedom allows us to pursue our true passions and live in alignment with our values without being constrained by the need to maintain a certain lifestyle. The counterintuitive wisdom of voluntary poverty challenges us to rethink our relationship with wealth and consumption. It invites us to consider what truly enriches our lives and to focus on cultivating inner wealth rather than external abundance. By embracing this practice, we can achieve a deeper sense of contentment, resilience, and freedom that transcends material wealth. Chapter 5: Building Lasting Wealth Through Inner Resources. In the final chapter of our exploration of Stoic wisdom on wealth, we turn to the concept of building lasting wealth through inner resources. The Stoics believed that true wealth is not found in external possessions but in the development of our inner qualities and virtues. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, wrote in his Meditations, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." This statement encapsulates the Stoic belief that the most reliable and enduring form of wealth comes from within. By cultivating our inner resources, our character, wisdom, and resilience, we can achieve a form of wealth that is immune to external fluctuations and crises. The Stoics emphasize the importance of virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as the foundation of a well-lived life. These virtues represent the highest form of wealth because they enable us to navigate life's challenges with grace and integrity. Unlike material possessions, which can be lost or taken away, Our virtues and inner qualities are under our control and can provide lasting fulfillment. Wisdom, for instance, allows us to make sound decisions and navigate the complexities of life with clarity and insight. By seeking knowledge and understanding, we can cultivate a deep sense of purpose and direction that enriches our lives far more than any material possession could. Courage enables us to face adversity and take risks in pursuit of our goals. It allows us to overcome fear and uncertainty, which are often the biggest obstacles to true wealth and fulfillment. By developing courage, we can pursue our dreams and aspirations with confidence and resilience. Justice involves treating others with fairness, kindness, and respect. It fosters strong, meaningful relationships and a sense of community, both of which are essential components of a rich and fulfilling life. By practicing justice, we contribute to the well-being of those around us and create a positive environment that supports our own happiness. Temperance, or self-discipline, is the ability to regulate our desires and impulses. It helps us maintain balance and avoid excess, leading to a more sustainable and contented life. By practicing temperance, we can enjoy the pleasures of life without becoming enslaved by them, achieving a sense of freedom and inner peace. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of gratitude in building lasting wealth. By appreciating what we have and focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can cultivate a sense of abundance that is independent of our external circumstances. Seneca advised, "Let us train our minds to desire what the situation demands." This attitude of gratitude helps us find joy in the present moment and reduces the constant craving for more. Building lasting wealth through inner resources requires a commitment to self-reflection and personal growth. It involves regularly assessing our values, desires, and actions to ensure they align with our true priorities. By focusing on our inner development, we can achieve a form of wealth that is enduring, resilient, and deeply fulfilling. In conclusion, the Stoic philosophy offers a profound and transformative perspective on wealth. It teaches us that true richness comes not from external possessions, but from the cultivation of our inner qualities and virtues. By defining personal wealth in terms of what truly matters, practicing moderation and voluntary simplicity, and building lasting wealth through inner resources, we can achieve a life of profound contentment and fulfillment. The wisdom of the Stoics challenges us to rethink our modern notions of wealth and to pursue a form of prosperity that is deeply rooted in our character and inner strength.